In this video, I'm going to take a look at this website that a guy sent me. It needs to be optimized. It's already built, but as you can see, it has a bunch of unoptimized parts. It doesn't really work on mobile. It looks a bit weird if we take a look at this mobile breakpoint. But he basically paid me $1,000 to take a look at this website and optimize it. And yeah, I think this video will be very helpful for some of you guys because I already saw a bunch of Framer projects of beginners, and many of them look something like this. They are not really structured correctly. They are making basically the same mistakes that results this site looking like this on mobile. As you can see, if I click this navigation, nothing really happens. So I really hope that this video will be helpful. It's going to be a bit different than what I usually do. It's not going to be like a really structured tutorial. It's going to be more of like a chilly video. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, let's just again take a look at this site. As you can see, it doesn't really look bad on this specific breakpoint, but if we take a look at this on full screen, you can see that the footer, for example, is a bit off here, and then the navigation as well is a little bit to the left. So yeah, I'm going to be just going from section to section and just try to optimize it that way. It's not going to be an easy job because when you look at a website that was not created by you, so you don't really know the structure, it's not easy. So yeah, let's take a look at this hero section, for example. So we have this navigation here at the top. It says navigation copy. So it's a copy of a component, but let's see if it is being reused on these different pages. And yeah, it is here, navigation copy. Here we have the same pricing. Here we have the same navigation copy. I think we're gonna have this on all pages, which is really good. So now we can just go into this component, take a look at the assets panel. So this is a copy of this navigation. Okay, so this is a pre-built component that was basically copied. So maybe we can just delete this one to try to keep everything a bit more organized, and then just rename this to navigation. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to first take a look at the positioning of this. So home. So it's set to absolute positioning, which basically means that it's going to scroll away as we start scrolling. I don't know if that's what we want. Usually the navigation stays at a fixed position as we scroll down, so we can navigate on the site even though we are scrolling down. So maybe I'm going to do that. So instead of absolute, we're going to use fixed for that. So if you set it to fixed, you're going to see that it's just going to stay there. It's going to have this fixed position. And these pins here, these are 0, 0, 0. It means that we stick to the left, right, and top of the page, which is the case because you can see this little border runs to the right side of the screen, and that's great. But for some reason, the content within doesn't really grow. So the content within of the navigation just stays on the left. So to know why is this happening, we have to, I think, take a look at the component. So we have a desktop and we have a laptop version, which is weird. So when we click the desktop, we go to laptop. Well, if I click this, nothing really happens. Oh, if I click the laptop, we go to desktop. Well, that's really weird. Because I don't know what is happening, I'm just gonna remove it. I'm gonna also remove this. Maybe I'm gonna switch to light mode, which doesn't really happen on this channel, but I just have to do it now because this is a light mode component. So this is how I'm gonna actually see what's going on. So basically what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take a look at how it behaves when we resize. And we're gonna exactly see the same thing that we see on larger breakpoints. The content is staying on the left side. So as I can see, we have a frame here, and then we have these links, but the link is set to width fix, so set it to fit, and then change this left padding to 0. So as you can see, it's pretty clear that it's been built by a beginner who was probably just trying to make this work, but they didn't really know what they were doing, but that's totally fine. The bottom line, this border on the bottom is created with an extra frame that can also be removed, for example, because that can be simply added by a border. So we select the desktop, we add the border, and then it's going to be only on the bottom. Now, of course, we don't know what color it was, so I'm going to get it back and just take a look at the color. So 8% black. 8% black. Okay, so now if we change this to center, everything will be centered, but still, for some reason, that button is, yeah, because it's set to upside positioning and it's within the links. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna comment an X, paste this learn button here, set it to relative. Oh my god. Let's set it to 36 in height. So I'm just looking at this component here and all the different variants it has. So maybe if we set it to fit content, it will be nice. Yep. Okay, so I'm not sure what layout we want to have here, but first of all, let's just get this logo right as well. I'm just gonna remove these. Logo, set it to fit content. Great. This will be a logo wrap. So as you can see, I'm also naming layers, because that's how we're going to be able to stay organized. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap all of these into a stack. I'm going to call this content. Then I'm going to set this to fill, and then distribute the space between. And then I'm going to set a max width of 1000 pixels. Okay, that's too small, it seems like. So we're going to need to have like 1300. Let's see what is the width on this. Yeah, I think on this site the max width will be around 1300. Yeah, so basically when you're creating websites, it's a great idea to pick a max width, and so your site will have like kind of like a container in the middle, and the sides will nicely line up as you scroll down. Now, as you can see here, all these widths are just changing. So here it's really wide, then here it is a little bit smaller, and it's just a little bit messy, and it's not really easy to scan it with your eyes. So keep in mind the max width will be 1300. Okay, so I don't think that I want to really touch the font sizes. Like I'm not sure if I agree with some of these design decisions, like the font size and stuff like that. But I said that I'm gonna optimize the site, so I don't really want to make any significant changes to the design, because maybe that's how they want it to be. So yeah. So now we have this content, and just to make sure that everything is nicely distributed, I'm gonna make this logo a little bit smaller, because I feel like it's a bit too big. Yeah. Then I'm going to make sure that both of these are the same width. So the logo and the book a demo is the same width, because that's how I'm going to make sure that this here will be in the center. Because now if I measure the distance here and here, you can see that it's not the same. It's a little bit smaller on the right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the logo wrap. It is 2033. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to also wrap the learn button into a wrapper, and then set the same fixed width. 233. I'm pretty sure, or I just hope that I said 233 and not 2033 previously. And then just distribute and we are done. So here I'm not sure, because I remember I deleted some elements from the logo wrap. I really do hope that those were not like some logo variations for the mobile variants. But I'm gonna also delete these now. I'm gonna just rebuild this from scratch. So now we have this. We will have a phosphor icon pack. We're gonna search for a list. We're gonna set it to 16. This will be the hamburger menu that we'll be able to click on mobile. And on the desktop variant, of course, it's not going to be visible, so we're just going to place it within the logo wrap. We're going to switch the direction and then just hide this right here. Okay, so now all we have to do is to optimize this for mobile. And I think that we also, I think we also need to do multiple variants. No, actually, I'm just gonna do a mobile variant. Mobile. Remove this interaction. I'm not sure why is this added. Remove it from desktop too. Here we're just gonna change the width to something that's a bit more like closer to mobile. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna change the content to vertical, then this to fit, then show the icon, set this to fill. Maybe 16 pixels will be a little bit small, so just set it to 24. I don't know why I set 16, honestly. Okay, so logo here can be like this. Then this will be also vertical. This here will be center. Set it to start. Need a bit more space. A bit more padding on the bottom. And we have a basic optimization for mobile. And this is of course the mobile open variant, so mobile open. Okay, so desktop, mobile open, and what I also need is a background color. So for now, I think it's gonna be white, like 90% transparency, and a little background blur, like 8 pixels. Let's take a look at how the... So this is what we have. Of course, this can be changed later on, but for now, this is great. And as you can see, the content no longer sticks to the left, which is perfect. Okay, so here, I'm just gonna make sure that this phosphor icon is actually wrapped in an icon container, which has like 44 pixel width, 44 pixel height. And that's hidden. This can be shown. And here, this will be visible. Why did we change back to 16? I have no idea. But let's make it like this. And I think we're gonna need a little bit more padding on the right, just to make it kind of equal. And then the height of these can be 48 maybe. Okay. Okay, this is great. So now I'm gonna make a new variant, mobile close, and then sorry guys, I just remembered that I have not started my Keystroke Pro app, but from now you're gonna also see my shortcuts and all the keys that I'm pressing. Sorry, I just remembered it and I paused for a second. So mobile close, what we do here is we hide all of the links, opacity 0. I'm also adding pointer events none, just to make sure that we cannot click them, even though, you know, sometimes, or not sometimes, always, when a layer is opacity 0, it's still on the page, you can still technically click it. So that's why I'm usually also setting pointer events none if I don't want to be able to click them. So we hide them, and then we just set the height to 48. And now you can see that this content frame is like this. It's because it's centered, and so now the mobile close is this big, and you know it will just try to center itself. If we set it to start here and here, it will be in theory better, but it is not. We also have to change the direction to vertical, and now it's gonna be great, yeah. So now I can change it to 48, and we're good. Now I just have to change this to an X, and let's go. So, of course, now if we click this, nothing will happen. So let's add an interaction. I'm gonna select this icon frame, hit L, connect it to mobile close, interaction click, do the same back. Now it's perfect. So we had a mobile navigation that did not work, and now we have a mobile navigation that works. Okay, great. As you can see, we are just you know, going step by step, and as I can see here, it is going to the edges, this button, which is not great. To fix that, we're gonna come here, set a 20 padding on the left and on the right. So now it's no longer goes to the edges. Here we can reset these overrides, then we can change to mobile closed, and then we can set fit content. Here, fit content again, reset override, and again fit content, and mobile not open but close. So now, in theory, we have a nice navigation on smaller viewports. Okay, so the first thing is fixed. Navigation is done. So now moving to the hero section, we have a header frame, and it is basically this big. So we have these two text layers, the button and this video. So let's take a look at this. I think we can have a bit more white space. We can remove some of these, or not remove, just decrease the text size maybe a little bit. Then fix this button a bit in terms of like design. Then make sure that this doesn't really like jump around this video on hover, because it's not really a smooth scaling, but a little bit weird. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at what, like, the thing that I notice here is that we have a bunch of like nesting. So we have a header, then a hero section, then stack, container, hero content, content title. Why are we nesting it like this? These are just a few elements. We don't need so many layers of nesting. It's gonna make our site not so performant. I'm deleting these two navigations because they are just they're just bugging me. And then what is this background? So let's just copy this, paste it here. Okay, so this is just a linear fill. And then within, it's nothing. And here we have another linear fill. I just don't know why it is a different layer. I'm gonna copy this here. Just keep it like this. Okay, so these are two separate things. Okay, so this is, I guess this is the main background color that we want to use here on the right, so we're gonna use that. Let's remove this background, we don't need that separately. We can just set this on the header. So I'm gonna Option Command C here on this background, and then Command Option V here. So now it's there. Scroll effect can be removed. I don't know what that is, and height can be fit content. Feel great. Okay, so we have a hero section. It has a scroll section hero, so I'm not gonna remove that, but honestly we don't really need that. So stack, as you can see, we have this bunch of nestings. We can remove them really easily by pressing Command and backspace. And I'm just pressing them until we get something a bit more manageable. Set the direction to vertical. Then this video wrapper, I don't know why we have this here again. So that's why it's really good if you are naming your layers, because then, for example, because this could be a mobile version that is hidden here, but on mobile it's visible. But how do I know? I don't know it. So I'm just going to remove it. because I know that it's not going to be a mobile variant, but just make sure to name your layers because it makes it so much easier to edit the site later on. And of course, you might not want to send it to someone else, but even for you, maybe in a couple of months, you're going to not remember it. So yeah, set this to fill. I'm not usually using a relative, so like percentages, just fill. We don't need percentage. Okay, max width will be applied 1300. The same that we use, maybe a little bit less here on the main title, so like 1000. Then maybe again a little bit less. Again, we have the relatives, so just use fill. Let's remove this text there, we don't need that. Okay, so this could be a little bit smaller. Like this. This hero section should also be fill and fit height. Then to make sure that here on the top we have some space, we can add top padding. Maybe to this whole desktop breakpoint. Like this. Okay, and then this hero section can have like a, or not even the hero section, but the header. Top 100, bottom 100. And then the right 20, left 20. And then all we have to do now is to optimize this video. So fill, it will be fit content for the height. It's a bit weird. Let me try to see what's going on right here. Because it would be great to log the aspect ratio, honestly. I'm just trying to see. 1300 and then 700, 800. Log aspect ratio, command X. And now I just want to know why we have this video wrapper. We have a border on it, but honestly it's not needed. And also we have shadow, which is not visible. Or is it? I'm gonna also remove this cursor because it's honestly a bit distracting. It's just following the cursor, so I'm gonna remove the custom cursor. Many times you don't need a custom cursor on your site, so just remove it. So we have the video block here. Let's log the aspect ratio, set it to fill, max width 1003. What is that on the top? Set the overflow to visible because yeah, the drop shadow wasn't actually visible, but now it is. So let's go into this component. And why is this line on the top? Is it coming from the image? What is this component? Frame component. Let's remove it. Video block. It has the image. And unfortunately that image has that top line, which is just really, I don't know, it just bugs me a bit. But I guess we're gonna keep that because we cannot really do anything about that. Maybe if we add that border back, maybe that's why that border was added. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Let's just get this color here and add that as a border around. Okay, so now we have a video element that is a component. On hover, it scales up, and on click, it scales up further. Okay, so I get what you want to do, but you're just making it really, really complicated. So let's just copy this Vimeo component here. Yeah, okay. Let's just copy this and just leave this video element here. And we're gonna just try to recreate it from scratch, because honestly we don't really need a separate component to make that. So video block, within that we paste in the Vimeo. Then we try to find the aspect ratio that it should have. It's not so easy on a white background. Once we found it, we lock it. So now we'll be able to scale it really easily. Let's place it back here. And what I'm going to do is going to wrap it in a new, like a wrapper. I'm going to just remove these hover states here. Yeah, I'm going to remove all of these. Just start from scratch. So first of all, the first thing I notice is that we need more contrast. If this is a video on top, then it should be, you know, it should be easy to tell. So we just need an overlay. Behind this. Something like this. Yeah. We can play with the strength, but for now it's good. Then Vimeo wrapped in a stack. Set a padding. Set a fill color, same color as the background of the video. Around those corners. But not too rounded, don't round it too much. Set a shadow, set it as a like 10, 20. And there you go. You have a much nicer component. Of course, you want to scale this on hover. We can do that. Really easy. What we do is we just add a hover state, then select the stack, which we could remove to Vimeo wrap, and then here transform scale 1.2. Really good. I'm realizing something. Maybe we don't want to scale it with scale, because then we will have to change the Vimeo to fill the full component. So maybe we're just gonna scale it like this. Just scale by the width. We'll get the same results. Kind of like the same results, okay? We still have a bit of a jumping, but we cannot really get rid of that. But we did everything to make it smooth as possible. So now we can create a new variant. What is this? Phone? Remove it. So we can create a new variant. So because what we need is when we click this, it goes to full screen. So I'm not sure if this will actually work, but desktop large desktop full. Because I'm not sure if we can connect, and I'm pretty sure that we cannot connect. Oh, we can, okay. How? Oh, on play. That's great. I didn't know that. Cool. So on play, we can go to the desktop full, which will be a component variant where the Vimeo changes. Not. Oh, God. I'm telling you the issue here. So what I want this Vimeo to do is to fill the available space. But it cannot fill the available space because it has a parent, which is the Vimeo rep. So if we set this to fill, it will just fill its parent. I guess that's fine, because then I can also say that, hey, fill, and then everyone will fill. And then I can remove the padding too. But then the issue is that the aspect ratio of the parent is not the same. So we have to make this a little bit shorter. We have to lock it. And then we have to make this corner radius a little bit less, like 18, what we had on the Vimeo. Oh, so say on Vimeo block. Okay. Well, hopefully it's gonna be great. Bum. Ooh. Ooh. Yep. Yeah, we have the lines on top and on the bottom because we need to make this a little bit shorter. So boom, 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 boom. Let's see. So we hover, we play. That's nice. It's really nice. Okay. It's pretty good. And what we can do is we can, I don't know if we can actually connect from here, from the overlay, back here on like end. So like when this ends, it will go back. We'll see. It's so good. It's so good. It's really good. Okay, as you can see, you don't need additional components within one. You can just do most things from one variant, one component, sorry. So, okay, so this is what we have now. What I notice here is a bunch of like appear effects on this text and on this button. So let's just get rid of those. I'm gonna add some effects, but a little bit later. For now, just get rid of them. Okay, so this button hasn't appeared. Okay, didn't see that. Okay, much better. just a clean, clear website. And then we'll be able to, you know, add some effects if we want to a little bit later. Make this a little bit smaller, just to have a little bit more breathing room. Then delete additional spaces here. I should just optimize it for mobile, but I'm just doing a bit more than that, I guess. But I just cannot stop myself from making these changes actually. Okay, let's change this like this. And yeah. Now it's better. Boom. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see if it works on mobile though. So the first thing I noticed is that we have to change the top padding on mobile here, so it's a bit more like 48, I guess. Yeah, 48. And then, yeah, some things needs to be, you know, optimized. So here, as you can see, already has an override, so we just have to remove that. What is this? Why we cannot see the text on the button here? I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so now the video block needs. By the way, can we see the text on the button here? No, we can't. Which is extremely weird. We have the same button here. No change at all. Maybe it's not the same, I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay. I was editing a different variant, but a breakpoint, but it still is weird here. Okay, I just have to go for a walk. Okay, so back with more energy and more, I don't know what, but like this button is so weird. Like like if you go and edit this component, it has the same text. Nothing has changed about this. But still, something makes this component appear differently here. Oh, what? Reset? Overrides. What is the case on mobile? On mobile it's visible. So it's only on the tablet. That's crazy, that's crazy. Look at this. Oh god, if I move this, it works. Like it's a working button, and if I put it within this, it no longer works. I have no clue what is going on. Okay. I'm gonna delete this new button too. I think the problem is that many things have happened to that little button. I think we have to start with a fresh component instance. We have to place it within that, and then everything will be nice. But it's not nice because it's not working. What is this? Okay, fit. What's wrong with this? Primary hover. No weird things here, no weird things here. By the way, I can delete these two backgrounds, we don't need them. I think this new button component is just, it's cursed, so I think we have to recreate it. That's really unfortunate, but we have to recreate it. Because if we draw a frame here and we place in some text, it's gonna be visible here, right? Yeah. So we just have to say 14 days free trial. We have to copy the styling, so heading 3. That's it, we just replace. Okay, so basically what happens is that this text style that we have applied here, heading 3b, has an S breakpoint with 0 text size. That's why it's not visible here. That's the thing that I said. So when you are taking a job like this, not the easiest. So 22, 20, 16. But I don't really think that we need breakpoints for like a small text like this. So let's just remove all of these. But I guess we shouldn't really change this style that is set up right here. So I'm just gonna remove it. So let's just go back to the new button too. Let's remove this heading style from everywhere. Just use it like this with fixed size. Great, works. Okay, so now optimizations on mobile, so tablet. We can make a tablet version where everything is a little bit smaller. What I'm thinking, so first when you're like trying to optimize something, first think about if you can maybe change something about the already existing variants so that they scale responsively. In this case, we can change this to fill, by the way. In this case, maybe if we use percentage values here, relative 50. What is that? Fit. And then here, oh, so we are scaling, oh god. Let's just change this to fixed, lock it. And then here, this should be reset. And then this should be increased. So here, relative 55. Here, relative bigger. Why the Vimeo is not scaling? Fail. And then maybe the full will just continue working. Let's see. Kinda. Okay. Reload. Boom. Okay. Let's see if this made any change. So now, as you can see, since we're using percentage values, we did not have to create new variants. We could just continue using the same variants and get a relatively nicely optimized design. Great. So now we just make sure that we decrease that top padding. But before that, as you can see, we have a bunch of these overrides here that we have to reset. again, when you're working with a project that was already you know, worked on by someone else, it's like this. So here we can decrease the top padding, but why do we have, what's that space here? Header, hero, maybe this? No? Then probably this, yeah, fit. We can get that 100 padding top back. We can make this smaller. We can make this smaller. We can make this smaller. Great. In theory, we have this optimized. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So now let's go onto the second section. So header is ready. Header check mark. Then we have these two columns, text, image. Set it to fill, set it to fit. And then also the main desktop breakpoint could have 0 gap. And then, so what's weird is that here it comes after the hero, but on this breakpoint it comes after this other section. So I don't know why that is, but maybe we can just reorder this. So it's the same order everywhere. And yeah, let's just optimize it. I'm no longer sure if I want to actually change any of the design, because I can see that the optimization is also like already taking a lot of the time. So let's just try to optimize this. Let's go within. Okay, so again, completely has to be restructured, like everything is absolutely positioned within these. So I'm just gonna rebuild it from scratch or something like that. Yeah. What is this? Where's everything? I said fail, fit, fail, fail. Buttons. What is buttons? Why do we have buttons here? Oh god, that was just an empty frame. Oh god, oh god. Okay, finally, ready to go to optimize it for smaller breakpoints. So maybe a phone. Maybe we're gonna have like a tablet. And you can see that once like I spent a couple of minutes on this, but now I'm gonna be able to go ahead and create a tablet variant really easily by just tweaking some properties. And that's why I really recommend you some of my beginner tutorials on this channel that explain like the relative positioning, absolute positioning, relative sizing options. Because if you don't learn those, you're not gonna be able to optimize your sites, because even I couldn't optimize it with that structure. I had to restructure it completely. I had to spend, I don't know, a couple of minutes to restructure, and now I just add a new variant, and what I do is I just click this button and boom, I have a tablet version. It wasn't, it wasn't hard. So yeah, really, it's really important to get the fundamentals right, and then start moving into more advanced directions. And basically, I think this will kind of work on mobile too. Not really. Okay, we have to change. Well, this is where we can actually use styles. It would be really great if this project would have or had styles, text styles that are actually usable. This is a mess. We have a bunch of like heading 1, B, C, D, E, F, G. So yeah, if you want to create a project that's like really easy to maintain, just make sure you start your project by setting these up. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, body, subtitle, body large, body small, and that's it. You just reuse them over and over again. So I'm gonna create a text style that's gonna be heading 2, I think. And we're gonna use this throughout the project. Rename. Gonna make it all caps so we can know that this is it. And I just add these variants or breakpoints. Okay, here it can be a little bit smaller, but then padding is also a bit different here. Okay, so for example here, we can also just click one button to optimize. This variant will look better on mobile because this text will get smaller. So we're gonna add the max width of 1300. Then add some top 100, bottom 100. Left to right is 20. Then just reset all of these overrides. Reset all of the overrides here as well, because we set up the file in a way that it will just work. So now I just have to reset the overrides that the previous creator was making here. Here we can enter the tablet. Again, reset overrides. And you see, now that it's optimized, it's set up in a way that it works. I don't need all of those overrides. So now I just don't understand that space there. Probably the line height needs to be defined in 1.2, 1.1, and all good. Perfect. Now we can go into the next section. What was this previous scale faster? We can just mark that as complete as well. Okay. Now we just have these 4 cards. So here I'm gonna implement something crazy, not crazy actually, but interesting. I'm gonna remove this this background color because I just feel like we have this everywhere, this background like rectangle and the content displays within. Here I think we can just remove it because it's a bit too much, so remove it. And then we have these. Let's set the texts. Let's set the text layers to fill, so they will nicely adapt to different changes. Then make these like 24. Then the dot lottie should be fill, then fixed. Lock it. What is happening? I locked it here. 250. And it changes then. Not great. Why is it changing? Well, then we're not gonna lock it. Max, we don't need it. $34 padding. Somewhere it's not gonna apply. Why? I don't know. Remove. Can this dot lottie be around it? I don't know. It doesn't have corner around it. Okay. So we're not gonna round the corners. Great. So now I think I can just wrap all of them. Set a grid to fail. Have like 24. Make sure that width is not changing. Fit content here. Why is it? We have an extra line here. Okay. Cards section. 20 on the sides. Then this grid has a max width of 1300. Just like all other sections. Overflow visible. So the drop shadow is visible. And we are good. Where is this section? Let's put that the check mark here so we can find it here. Okay, so where is it? It's down there. Why? Why is it there? Let's move it up. I have to do it everywhere. Okay. Also, this seems like it's being cut off here. I think these breakpoints are not fit height, so let's just set them fit height. So they will automatically adapt to the height. Move it up here. as well, like this, and move it up here. Okay, and now I just have to optimize it. So for example, here it can stay like that, but now here on this mobile, we need one column, and that's it. Of course, it again has all of these overrides. Also here we have this additional line. I have no idea how I not noticed that. But yeah, override, reset. Override, reset. Override, reset. Also, cards could be having a little bit less of that padding and a little bit less of that radius. And a little bit more of that gap. Okay. We're progressing really, really nicely. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. Maybe we can, but it'll be fine for now. So scroll down and yeah, perfect. So card section done. Next section, testimonials. Height immediately set to fit. Then padding top 100, sides 20, bottom 100. I'm gonna already place that checkmark there. I'm gonna cheat a bit. It's not even ready yet, but the checkmark is there. Let's, by the way, okay. I'll remove the effect. We are not gonna need those effects. My camera's gonna die, and I don't want that. Okay, so the last time I charged my camera while recording, something really crazy happened to the video file. Hopefully that's not gonna happen this time. So let's just get this right. This is a slideshow. Gets the elements from here. Now I'm gonna show you a really good trick. Because if you're using these components like slideshow, ticker, stuff like that, where you have to connect these elements, you can start having a really cluttered project, and that's not great. You have these layers here outside of the frame on the canvas. It's not great. So what you can do is you can grab the slideshow and then these testimonial cards in a stack, and then that in a component. Like you can turn that into a component, and everything will be within a component. So let's do that. I'm gonna first just make sure that wrapper set to fill fit. Let's remove these paddings. Header, I'm not sure if we need that, but like, okay, why not? Okay, let's add the max width of a couple of percentages, 70%. Then make sure that this is centered. This is fill. And fit, I guess. A fit content cannot be set. Oh, okay, I guess I know why we have that. We don't have an overflow property on that slideshow, which is weird. But okay, then we're gonna have it like this. And then the wrapper has the max width of 1300. And then wrap this slideshow in a slideshow component. So, oh, sorry, in a stack first. And then slide show testimonials. Wrap that. That's a nice, that wasn't like that. That's a nice improvement, Framer. Thank you so much. Great. So now when I wrapped this into a component, these elements also came with it, which is perfect. Then just set this to width overflow visible, and so those arrows will be visible, and basically that's all. Let's take a look at if it works. Where's the section? Can someone see the section I was working on? Please let me know in the comments if you can see it, because I can't. Ooh, what is it? Let's put it up there. It's there, okay? And if it's here, then look at that, it's there. Okay. It works then, so we can remove these cards from here. Makes our project much clearer, cleaner, better. And we just have to set something is clipping the shadows here. Oh, I think I know. It's the slideshow component itself. Overflow oh, but no, that's maybe not that. Maybe we're gonna try overflow show, and then here we're gonna overflow hidden. So it's gonna overflow, it's gonna be, you know, interesting. It's gonna take up the, but I think it's great. Because you can have like a set max width of this 1300, but then some elements can sometimes maybe go and run to the edges of the site, and that's totally fine. Just like in this case. Then we can take a look at some mobile optimization. Of course, we probably just have to go and reset overrides on this, and then reset overrides on this element as well. Then reset overrides here, reset overrides, reset overrides, reset overrides. What? Mobile? Well, on mobile, it's interesting because we could show, we can create a variable for that, and we can just show 1. And then here, this could have the same like H2 style that we created. Heading 2. Well, it's a different H2. I can see that, I can now see that why you have all of these text styles, because sometimes you want to have like a bold text, sometimes you want to have like a little bit not too bold text, but I think that it's better if you have like a set of different text styles and you stick to those, because when you're using typography on your website, it's better to use, you know, a set of sizes, 3 or 4, a set of weights, again, 3 maybe, like regular, medium, bold, something like that, just to keep everything a little bit more simple. it will be so much easier to build a nice website like that. But for now, I'm just gonna make sure to change the text size manually. Again, this is not best practice, but I just cannot take the time now to update the text styles, and I also don't know what the owner of the site wants exactly. So, you know, they're gonna be able to just come in here and change these text styles whenever they want to. Great, testimonials done. Next one, blog. I think we're gonna kind of use the same style for the cards that we used here, just to keep everything nice and consistent. Let's remove the... Oh, so these are components. That's interesting. Remove the fill color. Remove these. 100 on top, 100 on bottom, 20 on sides. Fill fit. Remove. And fill fit max width 1003, and then these are fill and fit. Now we just gotta go into these components and just optimize them. So, okay. What is this? Why do we have this small line height? Maybe, maybe 44. Okay. Just scale that a little. Okay. Well, it's quite a few optimizations that I would need to do on each of these components. By the way, you could just reuse this one. You could just duplicate, and then you could just change the text on the duplication. You don't have to create new components for each of these cards. That's what I'm trying to say. The reason why I cannot do it right now, because here a file is uploaded for these loties and I don't have the file, and that's because for the file you can create, you know, a variable that's gonna be here. You can just upload it and you're gonna be good. So now I clicked that button and here we have the finder. So yeah, you could in theory do it with one component, and that's how you should do it, but in this case I can't do it like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go into this, duplicate it, and copy, paste, and then from here we're gonna copy the .lottie. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna paste it in, and then we're gonna make sure that pro because of the variable it did not bring the actual file. This is when I'm like thinking that I cannot wait to like create courses that walk you through how to use Framer from scratch and like teach you everything from the ground up, because this is where when I really see that beginners are just jumping into Framer and they don't really know the basics, and yeah, they just start building and yeah, it's just not easy like that. So Framer is pretty simple, but if you don't learn the basics, then it's not gonna be easy. So yeah, I cannot wait to release some of the free beginners courses, because I think those are going to change the game. So we have this card as well. So this could be deleted. Okay, so now we can turn these into a grid. 2 column, 2 row, and then gap 24, fit content, and then this. I will see what happens if I set it to 2 columns. Yeah, this happens. Not really great. It's gonna be too big. Okay, then maybe we can just have it as a stack and just... These are just right next to each other. Oh, and yeah, I forgot the... gap. Or the padding. That needs to be right here. What? Hidden. Okay, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's much closer to what we have above. Let's do the same here. Sorry if I'm not talking too much, but I started like the video like talking, I guess, a bit too much, and I guess I just realized that I won't be ready even in like 10 hours if I continue like that. So I just thought that maybe I should chill a bit more, because then I can be a bit faster, because I don't have to explain every single step. But yeah, so now everything is consistent, everything is optimized. This section is ready, and again we'll just go through. Let me just get this check mark here. So we're gonna go through and reset overrides. Reset on this, reset. Okay. No, that's not ours. Here it is. And just change the direction and it will be fine. We have 36 here, so maybe we have 36 here as well. Okay, so that's done. We can go to the next one, which is header image. It's only 100 pixels. What is within this? It's just the text. Where is the image? Header image. Okay. I think we just need the text from here, right? Let's just get it back to this and let's scroll down. Yeah, I think that's just like a title above the section. Then we have these. Again, we're gonna remove the animations, the effects, and then the boxes around, and then we're gonna optimize them. Okay, so what I can see here is that these two can be removed, and then these will be fill. This will be fit. Max fit, remove, fill, fit, and then we just change these. What is this? I said fit. Okay. So top is gonna be 100. However, on the bottom, it's gonna be a little bit less space. And again, we have one line here. Don't know why. And we can then put it back. Put some space back there. 60 maybe. Okay, so now I have a feeling that these are structured in an interesting way. So let's dig into this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna delete what is hidden here. Okay, I hope that I'm not breaking anything. So these are multiple features large stacks. And I think this is the last one, the stack, and then we start the our works section. Oh no, the two columns text. So these are all the same, or all within the same. So I'm gonna just wrap them in a stack, set that to fill, gap to 0. We're gonna call this, I don't know, is this like a feature section? I don't know. Okay, so first of all, let's remove the fill, the radius, this, and then this can be hidden, fill, fit. Or actually, no, I think it's gonna be great. But we still have that some of these background colors. It's coming from somewhere. I just have to name these differently because I'm not gonna be able to know what is going on. So we have the features, then we have two stacks. Okay, so within one we have two. Let's set this to fit height, remove the max width, go within, set that to fill, set that to fit. Okay, go within, open these, remove the effects. Yeah, you just have to go through everything. Okay, we have to set the content is fill, text within is not fill, so let's change that to fill. New button, okay. Text fill. And the last thing that looks a bit weird is this. I think it should be fill. What does it fill? This is a video, right? I really wanted to remove these white backgrounds, but like maybe this background for these will be a bit, too dark. So maybe I'm gonna bring those back. But first I'm just gonna get this structure right. So I think I just have to create one block and then I can reuse that. But again, oh god. Again, because of the file, I'm not gonna be able to like. But whatever, it's gonna be fine. Let's take a look at this. Okay. That's better. Now we could just reuse this block multiple times with these different videos and then basically done. We're basically done. So let's duplicate this too and just copy the text. I really do hope that I can just copy it here. Yes. Copy this too. We don't need the button here. But we need the button there. And so the video needs to be replaced. Okay, I think it's replaced. Okay. We can have like a bit more space between these. Like this. Let's take a look. So we have created one block and then reused that, changed the text, and now we have this new block below. However, we still have to remove the effects. We will add those later. So now this can be deleted. Let's create the third one. And just replace the content, replace the videos. Okay, so the fifth one is a bit different. As you can see, the site is a bit laggy. It's because of the many videos and .lottie files that are being used here. But at this time I cannot really do much about those things, but just that you know, the site has slight performance issues because of the overusage of videos and lotties. These are just a little bit too big in file size. They take a bit longer to load, and that's why we have this problem here. Now, what I'm thinking here is that, yeah, we lost the background color here. We can get it back, but not like that. Holy moly. So let's just duplicate this maybe. 5. And then maybe these could be placed here like this. Oh god, not really. It would need to be within the features. Yep, like that. And then fill everything, not fixed, fill, not rel, fill. And then fill. Well, here we can do like a max width. Like this. We can wrap these in a stack to change the spacing. Oopsie, you see that the scale up effect is cutting off, fixing with overflow visible. We're good. Again, all we have to do is to get this feature section into the right order on all breakpoints. Bring it up. Like this. Oh, and also, I think I forgot one thing that is really important. And that's the fact that... No, I did not forget. Yeah, all of these features got the max width of 1300 pixels, which is good. So now... Oh, yeah. So now... I have to reset a bunch of overrides. So let's take a look at this. Header image, reset overrides. 1, reset overrides. I have to do it one by one, which is quite unfortunate. Wait, and I have to do it on each breakpoint? That's not great. Well, guys, do not fast forward into this video. You have to watch every second of me resetting these overrides. If you're still watching this video, which is if you're still watching, that's crazy. That's honestly crazy. Well, I just came up with a new feature request for Framer. Let me just select a portion of like this section, for example, features, and just be able to reset all of the overrides that are within that section. So now if I select the features, it's gonna only reset overrides on that specific layer. But I want to be able to one click and reset all of these layers within all of their overrides. Because it's like, it's crazy going through all of these, honestly. But I gotta do it. I realized that maybe if I don't use these elements that were used here, but I recreate everything from scratch, maybe it's better, because then they are not gonna have those overrides. But I guess it's too late, so in the next section I might just rebuild these from scratch. Yeah, so here we can select them and make it like this. So video here, text there. Okay, so I think it took a great like 25-30 minutes to reset all of these overrides. So now we can move into the next section. Features is done. I'm gonna take a quick look at that. So we can scroll down here. We have all of these sections. We have the testimonials. We have these block cards. And then we have this. Some of these, okay, some of the effects are still added, so let's remove those. Effects, appear, remove. I think it should be removed now. Okay. We can go to the next one, which is this crazy ticker, which is 3D transformed. Well, I think this is quite okay on almost all breakpoints. So yeah, the only thing that we could do is the fact that I think it is connected to this one. No, it's not. Where is it? Ticker images. Oh, okay. It's connected to this here. Yeah. So let's remove the appear effect. We can turn this sticker images component. We can turn this into component and then set the overflow to visible. And then here set it to fill. This stack, I don't know what's the stack, but we're gonna remove that. And yeah, now it's gonna be much more cleaner. Yep, okay. We have this section here. Let's just also get the check mark. Let's put the check mark here. Ticker images. Our works section. Okay, so this is the our works section. We have a wrapper here. Okay, so first of all, our works fill fit wrapper, header, fill fit, text within, fill fit, never used fixed height, for example, for text. That's not great. Grid, I think we don't use those. Okay, wrapper. I think this could have the max width of 1300 pixels. And then this could have 20, 20, 0, 0, maybe 100 on top, 100 on bottom. Good. Maybe here a bit more on the top and the bottom. And yeah, these stickers are great. What we could do is we could wrap them in the component, but for now we're just gonna keep them like this. We're gonna keep those images right here. I'm not gonna wrap them in an additional component. So our works section is optimized. But I'm gonna take a look at, just in case we have any overrides here. Reset. 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 Remove. Oh wait, what's that? Scroll. We're gonna remove this for now. Remove all the effects, focus on the responsiveness part. What is this button here? We had that button there? I did not see it, honestly. I'm sorry. Let's set it to relative and then set this to center. I'm sorry. It's been 2 hours and 43 minutes. I'm getting a bit blind, I guess. Okay, so now it's great. Okay. Let's move on to the next section. It is going to be the contact section. Let's get the check mark to the contact as well. And then after that, we're gonna only have the FAQ and the footer, which is pretty great. Contact, it's gonna be fit 100 top, 100 bottom, 20 20 on the sides. Wrapper, fill, max width on 1.3. This will be fill. I get that you used relative because you were like, I want to have like 90% so it doesn't go this far. But no, you can use fill and then use gap to make that gap. Easy. Okay, I think these are okay. I guess this is like a form, spark form. I don't know why we have the top padding. Maybe we can have like padding all around. Honestly, those fills are not really visible, so we might get it like a background. I don't know, I'm just looking at the different color options that we already have in this file. Let's just go with this, for example. And yeah, that's it. Here we're gonna reset some of the overrides. Here we do the same, reset the overrides. Then click this button, make it fill on top, decrease the space between, remove these, change the direction, but not of that stack, but of another stack. We can apply wrapping here with fill 36. Don't need those. That's pretty nice. Okay, so now we have the contact optimized for mobile too. So now all we have to do is to get the FAQs right. So, oh, I just, I was like, where is my other breakpoints? But it's here. Let's take a look at how those FAQs work. If they need any improvement, I can click to close. It seems like I cannot click here on the text to close. Maybe that's something that we're gonna fix. And also, this might need to be centered. Center, fill, accordion. Let's delete these two if we are not using them. And the row. Yeah, so the interaction is connected from the question, but I usually connect it from the whole variant. So like this. Tap or click. Frame renamed tap interactions to click. So I still have to get used to that. And then just make sure that the text has this user select none, which already has user select none. I don't think so, because the text was selectable. So now it no matters where I click, it will just open and close. And that's exactly what I need. Even if I click on text, it closes. No text is getting selected. This is how a proper accordion should work. If your accordion works differently, fix it. Max width 1300 pixels. Okay, let's take a look at here. Works. But of course, the overrides are happening again. What? Reset order override? What is that? Reset overrides. Reset overrides. Oh, wrapper. The wrapper is not set to fill. And on the sides, it needs to be only 20. 100 on top. Oh, let's go. That's done. I deleted it. Okay, so last section, footer. Well, last section footer, only thing is that the whole thing is just pushed to the left. It's not filling up the available space. So we need to do two things. We have to make sure that it fills up the available space, but it also has the max width of 1300 pixels. So let's do that. Go within the component. But first, I just noticed something really weird. Footer, width set to fill, height set to fit. And then the desktop, I think, has a bottom padding of 8. Have no clue why is that there, but we're gonna remove it. Well, we're gonna again use white mode. God damn it. White mode. Guys, you guys don't know how light mode is named. It's not light mode, it's white mode. So please don't say it's light mode. It's white mode. So fit content. Well, here that relative actually makes sense. Again, like the video was not filling up the available space because it was set to fit with, like, what do we expect? Not fit, but fixed. I just cannot talk. So that's great. 50, why not? We have a phone and we have a tablet. Let's rebuild it from scratch. So this will be the desktop. What we need to do is we need to make sure that video has the max fit. Info has the max fit too. We can then test it. You can see that it's still not great because we have to align everything to the center. So now it's good. Then your email, what is it? Okay. We have scroll animation on these. Let me remove them. Okay, so info fill. And then these need to be fit content. Okay. What I would do just to make sure that these break into new lines is I would wrap them in a stack, like links wrapper. Set that to fill. Okay. And then set that to like start. And then set like, I don't know, 24. And then wrap on yes. What this will do is it will break into new lines, as you can see. And then here, no space between, but center and like 20. Like this. So as you can see, you can test the responsiveness really easily like this. So desktop, great. Then tablet. Maybe we need a bit like bigger, like 40 pixels, or sorry, percent here, just to make sure it will work until tablet. And so on tablet, we can do something like a flip like this. And then this could change to fit content. This could go to the left. And that's it. I think this will also work on mobile. Just make sure that this is fill. So as you can see, sometimes we don't make tablet and mobile, sometimes tablet is enough. And it will work on mobile too. So let's change back to not dark mode, but black mode. And then footer, desktop, desktop, tablet, and tablet. Make sure to reset the overrides if needed. And put a check mark there. Now let's scroll through this. As I said, like these dot lotties might not be the best to use them like everywhere. Makes the site a little bit slower. Okay, this is great. Great. And as you can see, it's really nice that we have this set a max width, so everything like lines up on the sides. I think it's pretty great. And then we have this, and then the footer centered, max width applied, perfect. If we take a look at a phone breakpoint, we can scroll through like this. Mobile navigation works. This works. These cards are also appearing nicely. Maybe here we can have a little bit less space. But overall, seems like it's nice. It's pretty good. It's optimized. We can see everything. So, as I said here, maybe we show a little bit less of that space. Okay, so now the home page is done. It's fully optimized. It works on mobile and on all breakpoints. So basically that's how you optimize a website that is not optimized correctly, that is not structured correctly. As you can see, it is quite a bit of work. Like I could probably, build a website, like it was 3 hours. So a website like this could be built in probably less than 3 hours. I have a feeling that you could rebuild it faster than optimize it. So yeah, it's really important to learn the basics of Framer, the fundamentals, layout, positioning. Check the description for Framer.university. I have a bunch of remixes, tutorials that will help you, get those fundamentals right. And yeah, I do really hope that this different, a little bit chilly video was helpful. I hope that I could, show you some tips and tricks. I hope that it was helpful to see my process. So yeah, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.